Hello, Komorebi family. How are you? Today, I'm going to be talking to you about conscious awareness, about this job that is so wonderful. When we become consciously aware, it's because we make ourselves responsible for our thoughts and emotions. To do so, we begin to understand what are those beliefs and emotions that keep us chained to our past, which create barriers towards our transformation because we always negate and reject the things that are different to what we have been taught all throughout our lives. These lessons we have learned, or patterns, they all come from our parents, our ancestors, could be anyone from our family tree, the society where we live, traditions, the culture, and even the country where we live. So all this information makes us see it projected one way or the other in the people that surrounds us and in the future that we create, which makes us live in constant conflict. When we see something projected or recognize something on someone else, it is because one way or the other we see it in ourselves. This is how the mirror effect concept originates. For example, when we feel afraid of being alone and we're with the wrong person, we are and fight to show the person that what she or he is doing is incorrect. We keep telling the person that if she or he changes, you can have the perfect relationship. Here, the important point is to realize that what we do not want to see or recognize is our part, our responsibility in that relationship. We are with that person because we do not recognize that we have a discordant emotion or a couple of emotions that are discordant that attract that person to our life. Let's say fear to be lonely, patterns learned from our parents, ancestors, because maybe we saw them going through something very similar and they are still together. So we think it is the correct way to live. One way to identify the discordant programs is when we do an analysis utilizing the spiritual response therapy that I call SRT. During this session will appear the discordant programs because many times we know something is not right. But because of our ego, we do not accept or share that responsibility. Thus, we are not able to identify where everything originates. The main focus or idea is to recognize and make it conscious what is happening so we can make the change and transform ourselves in consciousness and awareness. I keep talking to you about being conscious and consciously aware. But do you know what am I referring to? Why are human beings with consciousness? Why do we have it? The answer is because we're multidimensional beings made out of an energy that makes us intelligent. Consciousness is just an energy that is transforming and that is in constant movement. But more importantly is that it is an intelligent energy. Therefore, this awareness is to make ourselves responsible for our thoughts. What is where everything originates, to our emotions, which is the results of our thoughts. Okay? It is our thoughts with the magnitude of the emotional wave that creates our reality. This is explained from a quantum physics point of view. I will give you an exercise so you can understand. If you want to do it on your own, you can start working by yourself on this process of creating awareness. First, you will make a list of how you are in this moment, what you're living at this particular time. But all this is based on your reality or what is happening, not what you feel. That list of experiences could be with your partner, your job, family relationships, etc. Once we write that list, we can identify what are the repetitive patterns that we find from an emotional and working point of view. Once we identify those patterns, we make a list of how do we want to see us. What is what we really want? In this point, you could identify more clearly which are those emotions, those patterns, thoughts that make you behave the way you do, and that are limiting you from obtaining and living the reality that you want. The third point that we can make is that once we analyze everything, we can begin to take responsibility on our life. We stop judging. We just stop blaming others. We accept that everything we're living went all the way to that point because we have a mirror effect on the other person, okay? So we saw ourselves on that person in some way or another, and we also allow that everything that occurred the way it did could occur because we allowed the whole thing to get to the point where we are. So if the experience is there and exists, we have to think a way to change, and a way to change it on ourselves, which is the mirror effect. For example, if we keep complaining because your daughter, my daughter, or my husband, or my mother, any family member, okay, are disorganized or something that bothers us, right? Or our partner, it doesn't have to be my husband or my daughter or my mother or my sibling or no, any person. My boss could be too, right? Let's pick somebody and let's say, oh, I'm living a stressful time because I work and in my house everything is a mess and I can't keep up with the mess and keeping the house, keeping the job, right? So the point here is to think on what can I do to prevent this from happening. Should I scream at them? Should I complain? Or should I pick up the mess and reorganize? Or how can I reorganize everything? Should I do it with an energy of love or should I be upset? So once we have this point here, we recognize on this point, this question, we can start observing what bothers us. And then we want to start producing the change. Here it's very important that it is not about changing the person around us, but to change ourselves. Once we decide to stop the complaint, we begin doing things without feeling overwhelmed. Then the other person will begin to change. The change begins when the energy of love and thankfulness, of compassion, increases in the electromagnetic field. And this is very important because this energy is awareness. It's an intelligence that we start creating in our field. And this does exist. Instead of complaining, we just say things in love. We do it with love, not with anger, but just with love. And little by little, everything will start moving slowly and smoothly. Okay? And this does exist and this does happen. So here I leave you this message and this small homework. I wish you a beautiful day and that your lives keep transforming in gratitude, forgiveness, and unconditional love. Have a wonderful life, a wonderful day. Bye bye, Community family. See you in soon. Bye bye.